I received this. It is a comment from our good friend Jean-Luc Bergman on a video I made called, "If I were bald when I met my wife, would things be different now?" The response from Jean-Luc Bergman is this, quote, "This channel is good as long as you always remember that confidence equals hair." So that's what Jean-Luc had to say. Now you flip it over in the back and we've got a completely different perspective. So let's take a look at that as well. Both of these were received in the same 24-hour span, if not 12-hour span. So our friend Kusei Akkad had emailed me about the same time I got the last comment. And this is what he has to say. Quote, "Hey Nick, how are you? Was thinking of some video suggestions for you to make. You advocate men basically not derive their confidence from their hair or appearance for that matter. And that, in my opinion, is essential for a man's mental well-being. Thank you for that. Maybe it would help to make a video about this idea. For men who are still not over their hair loss or don't know what it would feel like to be over it, put things in perspective thinking in the worst possible way. What percentage does hair actually contribute or deduct from a man's physical appearance? If we were to be purely talking of the visual, maybe 20 or 30%, probably not more than 40%. If a man gets in his best shape he can, grooms well, and dresses decently, assuming he doesn't want to do anything about his hair loss, like medication or surgery, he can still probably hit 60 to 80% of his potential to look as good as he possibly can, which is not so bad, given that probably our most attractive qualities are non-physical. There's a nice quote in Arabic, quote, "Al Jamal, Jamal al Rooh," end quote. "Beauty is the beauty of the soul," end quote. Trying to help you out, as you have helped me out, smiley face. Might email you more suggestions later. Also, do you see anything that leads you to believe that 10 years from now, they will have a solution to change a Norwood 2 or 3 back into a Norwood 1 in a high quality way, end quote. Thank you. Thank you for sending me that email. There's a lot in here, and I think that this is good for discussion about anyone who's in the journey of overcoming their hair loss. So first off, though, I think it is interesting that we've got some who still fundamentally believe that a man's confidence is derived from his hair or lack of. So if you don't have hair, you can't be confident. Your confidence, in theory, would be based on how much hair you have. The more hair, the more confident. The less hair, the less confident. Of course, the problem with that is, what about me? If you were to rate me on my confidence level based on what you see in the 20 minutes a day that you see me in these videos, I seriously doubt anyone would honestly say that they think I have a low self-esteem. If anything, it would be on the opposite side, and it'd be people saying maybe I'm a little bit conceited, and perhaps my next video will address that very subject. So obviously I don't have a confidence issue. You've all seen my exposed hairline. You know I've got less hair than it appears I do now. And you all know that I'm definitely not fearful for the future. As Robert has put it, I've got a hair death wish. Bring it on. Let's go bald now. I'm cool. Let's do it. I'm not fearing that, right? But then so that's what some people think. They think without hair you can't be confident. Then we got others who believe my fundamental teaching, which is your hair loss only has to negatively affect your confidence level if you allow it, and it actually is a choice. There's other things that aren't perfect about your physical being that are not bothering your hair. And I get it, hair's a big deal, but still, if some people can exhibit that they've got control over it like I can, the theory is that so can others. So I do like what he was saying about this, and I know at some point, maybe a year ago, I made a video similar to that, talking about how your hair is going to affect a certain amount of your physical attractiveness, but at the same time, and though so many of my viewers don't accept that this is truth as part of their identity, but when you become 36, you realize exactly how little your looks have to do with how well people like you and how well along you can get in this world, because we know that it's not based on looks. See, that's a high school mentality. To be the cute guy with the cool hair and the cool shoes, that's high school. You get older, you're judged on a different standard, and if you're still playing around with high school mentality, you're not going to move forward. You're going to be in your 40s, 50s, maybe 60s, and still never really had the confidence that you needed because you were the guy that had a Norwood 3 by the time you were in your 30s as opposed to your mid-50s. So I think those are all interesting points. I do want to finish up by answering Qusay Akkad's he asked me, do I think in the future that there will be a way for a Norwood 1 or Norwood 2 or 3 like me, which I'm 3, to end up going back to a Norwood 1? Do I think that that's possible in a high quality way? My honest answer is yes. I think it's quite possible. I can't say for certain that they definitely will, but I think when you look at how much things have changed in the last couple of decades and how, you know, Donald Trump's, the President Donald Trump, what he's had done, my understanding, he's had to go back several times, and he has to keep his hair that length to keep it all from showing, whatever. I've heard stuff like that. And then now, like Joe McHale, who's had a hair transplant, it's a lot more natural seeming, and he can actually have short hair and all this stuff. So I only believe that hair treatments will only get better the further we go along, which of course, the further we go along, the older we are. I mean, I know the demographics of my channel, most of my subscribers are between 16 and my age, 36. So, you know, 10 years from now, it may be too late anyway. But yeah, I believe that. And I believe that a lot of people are going to make money off of people who do that. And again, there are reasons to call me conceited, but I'm going to be just the same person either way as I go balder and balder. But I think there will be hope, more hope for what, kids my age, for my son who's almost 7 if he wanted. But then again, he's got me for a dad. What if you had me for a dad? Do you think of how much I'm going to brainwash that kid into believing that confidence is not based on hair. It's based on the things that people actually judge you for. Like being a kind and helpful person, a charming person, a funny person, a skilled person, a confident person. I'm going to brainwash him into believing that that's what actually matters. He's going to believe that. He's going to live his life that way. He's going to have a good life because he believes that. And he's not going to be stuck on his hair that will probably follow the same pattern as me. He'll hit Norwood 1 around 17 or 18. Around 21 or 22, he'll hit Norwood 2. And around 30, he'll hit Norwood 3, 31, 32, something like that. But I have the advantage to teach him my philosophies so that he doesn't have to worry about it. But again, some people need that because they truly in their heart believe that they can't be confident without hair. That's one of the things that makes me special as a hair loss YouTuber. I say do whatever you think is right for you. But as for me, I don't need it. Hair, don't need it. Confidence, I got it either way.